I wanted a peaceful end to the years of withdrawal, punishment, and abuse I had endured throughout my marriage. But I did what many of us do every day in our lives. I projected onto my ex wife the kind of mindset that I employ, thinking that she would be reasonable and kind. That was my first mistake. When she realized I was serious, that the marriage was over, she would do all she could to make my life a living hell. She threatened to kill me if I left her. Then later, in front of my children, she acted out in a way I had never seen her do before, screaming to them that I was leaving her, and that if I did, she would kill herself and spread the blood all over. While most divorces are settled through mediation, she dragged it out as long as she could, and she lied that I was abusive to her and the children, which forced me to have my children testify at court. She committed fraud by forging documents and sought to cause me financial harm. She even dragged my sister into her deceit and caused her to lose her job. And had I not extended grace and forgiveness to my sister, she would have also lost her mortgage license. She would lose nearly everything in the divorce when the judge discovered she had lied. Since then, she has continued to lie, and some of my clients have received an anonymous 5-page letter filled with lies. At the time of the divorce, she told me several times, "You lost your family. You lost your family." She proved she would not stop until she accomplished her goal. When I would take my children with me on travels, she would guilt them. When one of our children, still a minor, was battling through an addiction to marijuana, she sided with him, telling me it helps with his anxiety. When I disciplined a child by withdrawing privileges, she would play the good guy, not enforcing it, and do all she could to make me look bad. Taking advantage of the mother-child bond, she has guilted and manipulated each of our children, alienating them from me one by one over the last 7 years. Statistics and studies have shown that when children are placed in that kind of a position, they will side with the abusive parent. Not all mothers are to be celebrated. Some are evil to the core and will use even their own children to fulfill a personal vendetta. Some are so self-centered and will do anything, no matter the expense, to make them look good to the world. Evil has no boundaries, and it never rests. The next time you hear or learn of a divisive or contentious divorce, remember there are two sides to every story. It took me years to understand it was my codependency that kept me shackled to the abusive marriage. I've always sought harmony, so I always freely accepted the blame. I was the only one to always apologize, the only one to self-reflect, and to seek ways to be better. And I would internalize it as all my fault when she punished me with silent treatment or withdrew from me even the most basic shows of affection. Reactive abuse is real, and it happens between the codependent and abusive narcissist. Every person has a limit, and the abuser will push you to the extreme, even to the point where you yell or act out in a way to vent your frustration. And that's when they look at you like you're the crazy one. Then they take advantage of the deep level of shame and regret, utilizing it all to manipulate you so that they can maintain their control. It is never their fault, and they will never apologize. Some of the most evil monsters are barely 5.5 foot tall and weigh only 100 pounds, so never judge someone by their looks. Most divorces are initiated when one spouse wants to leave the other, while in some, the spouses agree to go their separate ways. But that was not the case with my ex-wife. She made it clear I wasn't only divorcing her. Rather, in her mind, and clearly by her dictate to my children, I was losing my family. Because of my codependent nature, even post the divorce, I refused to say any unkind words about her and always found myself excusing her actions during the time of the divorce. I would say stuff like, or believe stuff like, she felt backed into a corner, that's why she lied. She did not mean to do that. She was just angry, and she will be reasonable when it all passes. These were all the stories I told myself because it's how I think and perceive. But it was way too much credit to ever afford to the type of person she proved to be throughout the years of our marriage. All the stories I told myself throughout the marriage only served to play well into her manipulation. For the narcissist, it's all about control. and they will expend every effort possible to keep you shackled. For the codependent, we always find a way to make the bad good and the good greater. In my mind, I could have never imagined speaking ill of the mother of my children, but I could not begin to change my mindset until I was willing to acknowledge and speak truth, that I had been married to a monster, and that evil has still not rested.
You blocked your whole family. And then you can't, and then you blocked your whole family. And then you can't, and then you blocked your whole family. And then you can't, and then you blocked your whole family. And then you can't, and then you